everyone. Welcome to Discovering Travel by Discoverlist. This is Kim here. This is episode 5, and we have a very special guest here today from all the way Jamaica. So please, I would love you to introduce yourself and tell us what you do and what's your favorite hobby.
Hi, pleasure to be here. My name is Leighton, born Jamaican, love my island, but definitely world traveler. So I'm just happy to be on this platform and speak to like fellow travelers. Favorite hobby, I would definitely say having conversations with internationals, like cultural exchange, finding out, what is your language, what drives you, what's amazing about your city. That to me is both knowledge and I get to make a new friend. So that I would say is like my all-time favorite thing to do.
Wow, I love that. I've never, whenever I ask this question, I haven't heard that particular answer yet. And I think that's amazing that you pay attention to the cultural, I think that's what is the key to, honestly, world peace, if you have to say it at large, that to be able to understand each other's differences and understand where we're coming from. And that is through talking to other people internationally and getting to know their cultures. So I absolutely love that. And I really hope that, you and your family and your loved ones are doing well during this time. As we are going, at this point, at this pandemic, I feel like everyone's just kind of wondering now, when will travel be open? When can we book our next trip? So can you tell us how the pandemic has affected your location, and what can people expect when they do travel to Jamaica?
Okay, all right. Specifically, Jamaica's borders did a soft opening on June 15th of this year. We took, I'd say approximately maybe 200, 300 passengers, and they came here just to be in what would be the hotel region. It was a closed experience to show that they could come to Jamaica, they could enjoy the sun, the beach, the trees, but they had to stay on property. What has happened since June 15th is that in July, we've now created a program which is called the Resilience Corridor. That corridor is not if you're flying to Kingston, which is the capital, but if you go to Montego Bay, or if you fly into Kingston and go to Ocho Rios, they have properties that have not only come up with a medical protocol, everywhere has the temperature checks. We're expecting that tourists are going there. So we have increased sanitization protocols. And it's really been like international cooperations with, like right now I'm in the Rio Hotel, which is a Spanish-owned hotel, but then they're working with my Ministry of Health. Then across the street is a Jamaican-owned mega hotel, Moon Palace. And that particular one, everyone is coming together to say that the tourists must have a great experience, but then we're making sure that we protect the locals.
That's amazing to hear that they have those regulations in impact and they are ready to welcome, tourists and also protect locals at the same time. And I know that we talked about it a little before we started this interview, about what you do exactly about your business. And so would you like to share with the audience what you do and kind of like the regulations you have in place too?
Okay, well, specifically, my business is e-commerce. I fell into tourism and travel just naturally by just enjoying being around people. So I do online grocery delivery. I do currency exchange with a prepaid MasterCard. And I was always connecting people to make purchases because I wanted to purchase on my platform. In doing that, I started to meet wonderful friends that, okay, pick them up from the airport, drop the groceries at their Airbnb, tell them where to go. The concierge kind of fell into the loop while doing that. And then more and more when certain attractions said, how did you get these people? What, are you a tour operator? I was kind of like, well, I was invited to hang out with them. So they're like, you're not charging? I said, they paid for their services and I'm now just enjoying the activity with them. So it does dovetail into being a concierge, which is why I call it AI. Where the intelligence is there, but it's absolutely, avalanche intelligence, but it's like an automated artificial intelligence of making sure your experience is bespoke.
Amazing. I mean, that's awesome that that's amazing how you fell into travel and tourism through your e-commerce website. And now you're providing, the main point of your job is to create a great experience for everyone who comes there. And that's just a great thing to do. So that's awesome. And as you know, Discoverlist is about sharing hotspots with friends, sharing your travel photos, sharing travel recommendations. So I would love to ask you about, recommendations about Jamaica. And actually, before we begin, would you love to show your area right now? Because I know you showed me before and I'm so jealous. So I think we need to show everyone.
Not a problem. I can do that.
Yes.
So this is one of the hotels that have just opened back up in Ocherius.
Amazing.
And it has 850 rooms. It's currently operating at 40% capacity. But more so, everything here has been so bespoke. You are greeted with a temperature check. But what we did forget, to come to Jamaica now, we'll put you right back down.
Yeah,
to come to Jamaica right now, you have to download our app, which is called the Jam COVID app. On that app, it will ask for your flight information, and then once it flags if you're coming from, and unfortunately, if you're coming from Florida right now, if you're coming from Arizona, New York is still on that list, you have to do a test 10 days before, upload the test before, and then they will now review it and cross-check it with their database, with the international, WHO and other entities, to see that this is a valid test. Now, with that test, you are then allowed to upload it and you get travel authorization. Other friends that I've had coming down, like the Europeans have been coming down in droves lately. Canadians have not been coming to Jamaica, but the Europeans have been coming. And they, because they're now on the green column, they will basically upload their travel information. Mandatory testing is done at our airport, but they will get an order that allows them to not only quarantine for the 14 days, but it's not as rigorous as if you were coming from the States right now, especially what would be those high-risk areas.
Right. Wow. Okay. That's great. That's awesome information to know. That's amazing that Jamaica has an app for that. I think that's so, very convenient and keeps things, the process, flowing and fast. And that's easy for, people who want to travel to upload their information. So that's great to know. Perfect information for everyone before they go to Jamaica. And so going to my question about Jamaica, what is your favorite spot to go for a bite to eat or to celebrate something?
Bite to eat and celebrate. That's hard because Jamaica is supposed to be in the Guinness Book of Records of having the most bars and churches every quarter mile. So we can literally, I could start and have a beer here, and when we go down the road, it's like a moving pub crawl. So
that's amazing.
It is bite to eat. I think you kind of stumped me. You've kind of stumped me, but let me go with maybe Frenchman's Cove, which is in Port Antonio. It is the most untouched. Portland is an untouched part of Jamaica. Kingston, which is the capital, that would be like a New York or concrete jungle. Ocherius, which is like a transient city. Montego Bay, which is a tourist city, driven by more hotels than local businesses. Portland is untouched. You have your villa. You are sitting by the beach. You're getting coconut in your hand, and it's not done in a commercial way. It's like that's what you're getting. So I would say Frenchman's Cove, Portland, it is a beautiful untouched location, and it's actually a river leading into the sea, so you get a hot and cold water mix. So best of both worlds happen at the same time.
That's amazing. That's got me sold already. I need to go there. And because I only been to Jamaica once actually, and it was a stop for a cruise, and I completely forgot what port it was. But
where I am right now.
Okay. Was that okay? Perfect. Yeah. It was only one stop, and I was only to stay there for, a few hours. We did an excursion. But I didn't get to experience actually Jamaica. So next time I come, I was definitely have to go to that spot. And I love that it's a bar crawl basically throughout Jamaica. I can only assume from the time I've been there, I can only imagine.
No, we have awesome high-end, we have the AC Hotel, we have Jenga Sound Bar, we have Ribby's Lounge, Ultra Lounges. So you can get the European, you can get the Bohemian, you can get the rustic, everything is here. But for me personally, I actually just enjoy the fact that there's just something authentic with the corner bars.
Exactly. I'm a big fan. All travel is great, but I love getting into the local spots and, getting that feel of what you guys, the everyday spot you guys go to. So I definitely would recommend that too. Okay. So even touching more upon about food, what is your favorite Jamaican dish?
Ackee and saltfish.
Okay. So can you explain?
Okay. Not culinary. I wish you'd ask me more about the rum, but okay. Ackee is actually a fruit that is grown in Jamaica, and it comes out of this pod. Now, the pod literally, when it is ripe, it bursts open. You boil the ackee, And then saltfish is basically like what you call codfish.
Okay.
And we fry that up with the tomatoes, our scallion, our different spices. And that's like the traditional Jamaican breakfast. And as someone who, I grew up on Eggos, I grew up on microwavable pancakes.
Yeah.
I've become more Jamaican in enjoying how tasty the food is versus just seeing what the ads on TV were and saying, oh yeah, I want to have tricks. No, I'm now eating more the older I've gotten.
I mean, I would take Aki and then swordfish over Lego like waffles any day, honestly. You know, I think it's because we grew up with it. We're just like, you know, it's kind of like we've had our fill with it and now we want something else. That's amazing that you guys have that for breakfast. That's such a cool twist. You know, I never would think to have fish for breakfast, but that is I would definitely try that when I come to Jamaica. And so would it be like a sweet, but there's spice into it, right? Because it's a fruit sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, it's not sweet.
Great to know.
And it's ackee and saltfish.
Oh, okay. Got it.
No
Oh
problem.
my gosh. Everyone better try it when they go to Jamaica. So the next question I have to ask is, what is something unique about Jamaica? Anything about it at all could be unique. I feel like it is.
Our coat of arms is out of many, one people. So we have Asians in Jamaica. The majority of them come from Chinese descent. But I mean, so we have Asian Jamaicans, we have Indian Jamaicans. We were founded by the Europeans. And then, of course, you have the mixed Africans. So the out of many one people is what's so unique about Jamaica, just on the basis that I've experienced my own multicultural world just being at home. And then we're all starting Jamaican, and then we delve into different religions, different aspects, and we recognize all cultures and identities.
That's amazing. I think it's awesome that you guys can connect under that you guys are from Jamaica, you guys are living together on this island, but then also that you guys have all different, you know, heritages and learn about each other, and the diversity is awesome. That's great. That's amazing for someone to know. What is your favorite thing to do in Jamaica? Sorry, so many things.
No, that's fine. My favorite thing, honestly, I would say is just to get out on the road. There's so many places to go, and the landscape is beautiful. I like my destinations, but the journey and the travel, because you can climb Blue Mountain, you can go to a river, you can go by the beach, you can decide to go to a corporate hotel and like look at the cityscape. So I'd say traversing the island is my favorite activity because there's so much to see and so much beauty. It is still very much an island, but we are definitely getting to a developed stage where we now have skyscrapers. Like the things that I want to travel and go abroad to say, all right, I have to go to Chicago to see certain skyscrapers. I have to go to New York for that. Jamaica now has it, and we're owning it and building, and we're very happy for like the foreign direct investment partners that are making sure that we become as world class as possible.
That's amazing that I'm hearing there's development in Jamaica. You know, when I went to Jamaica, obviously it was more just me going to a river, which was awesome. I was going to agree with you that, you know, just traveling and just exploring your own island. There's probably so many spots that you haven't seen yet, even though you've lived there for so long. So that's amazing that you get to do that. But hopefully, we can see more development in Jamaica. That's awesome to hear. So are there like any touristy spots you would say? I know you said like the port is probably a more touristy spot where all the cruise ships go to. And then are there any local spots that you recommend?
Okay. Number one, and Puerto Seco. Puerto Seco is in Ocho Rios, and Ocho Rios Runaway Bay. That's a location that was a public beach up until 5 years ago. Firm, which is a very successful security firm, took it over and completely redeveloped it. Oh, wow. They brought in dolphins. They have ensured that we have chefs coming from international locations. They've created a pool bar that's sponsored by Red Stripe Beer, because we have to drink Red Stripe Beer here. So as a tourist spot, it is very bespoke, and you are going to spend $20 versus the past when it was free. But then lounge chair, butler service, and now with COVID protocols, they have actually gone on a national campaign saying that from entrance, you are walked in, you're sanitizing, you can only stay within what would be your cabana zone, and you feel the level of protection that they put in. So Puerto Seco for a local spot. And going to, for the tourist spot. For the local spot, Helshaw. Helshaw is literally a fishing community right by the beach and the rocks. And they will get up in the morning, jump in the water, catch the fish, come back in, cook it, and you've now turned up on any day of the week and made it. And it's, I mean, it turns into a party, it turns into a family get together, it turns into whatever you want, because you're literally partaking in just like everyone's just enjoyment and happiness.
That's amazing. Yeah, I have to say, like, I'm a huge, obviously, fan of being going local, and I think that would be so much fun just to be able to go somewhere, you know, catch a fresh fish, cook it up, and join in with the locals to party and everything. I can't. How can you say no? That's definitely something that people need to do when they go there. I hope that Susanna will tell you too to post some of these things on Discover List, because I think people would love to see these spots. If you have any pictures, that'd be amazing.
Absolutely. I mean,
Awesome.
you can follow my IG as well, AI_876. Everything that I've said, you can find on the IG page, and I will start, with your permission, to start sharing so you can have content.
Amazing. That's awesome. Love to hear it. Yeah, they definitely will have to check it out. So can you talk about something that may shock people when they come to Jamaica, like whether it's at the culture, the places, like anything that would, you know, maybe like, wow, I didn't know that.
Okay. We all don't have dreads. Like, it has been the most quintessential thing that they're like, how are you Jamaican and don't have dreadlocks?
Yeah.
We are shocked. People have said, they've asked, like, is English your first language? When very much it is. We have our own dialect, which is now with a dictionary become an official language, but which is patois, but we speak standard English. We are becoming bilingual because we are an English-speaking country, but then we're surrounded by Cuba, Puerto Rico, everywhere around us. We have Venezuela as a business partner. So the shock value is that Jamaicans are dynamic, but we are, you know, it's out of many one people. But everyone just assumes, oh, you gotta have dreads. You gotta, like, you know.
It's the stereotypical, I think, from your shirt. I think that is part of the but Bob Marley plays a part into it. But yeah, I think that is definitely probably a shot of people like, okay, wow, like someone without dreadlocks, which is awesome. It's just so awesome to, you know, again, not always be the stereotype, which is great. But obviously everyone loves Bob Marley. Okay, that's great to know. Great to know. Are there any traditions or events that happen in Jamaica that would be amazing to attend during the year?
There's so many. In October,
we party every day.
we have Jamaica Food Festival in October, where we bring in Asian chefs. We have different African European chefs. We will have our Jamaican like chef off, and it's really to push the culture of like that culinary feel and that eating to make Jamaica a hub. We just celebrated independence on the 6th of August. And that is where you're going to have, like, one of our winners for independence, Buju, came up with a song saying, I'm a Jamaican. So it was a very folk, the rules of it were that you had to show Jamaican locations, you had to speak about Jamaican pride. And Buju Banton was like, hey, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring, I'm going to do it. Yeah. And then you had like all these top artists jumping in. And so independence is a huge festive period, which is now August, and that's happening.
Okay.
In Easter, Carnival, which I am a huge proponent, and I mean, I love it for the basis that it came from our sisters and brothers in Trinidad. It came from soca music, but then Jamaicans have made a twist of it where it's soca and dancehall, soca and reggae, and it has just created that bond where us going down to Trinidad in February is not the end of the party. They now come back over by April to Jamaica, and then we go to Barbados in August. So it's literally a roaming carnival chasing scenario.
That's so,
and that's just 3 specific sectors. And I've not touched Christmas, I've not touched New Year. Like there's always something to do. So if you're very arts oriented, the National Gallery or museums year round and the exhibits are top notch. Live music, jazz and blues, we would always have that in January, February. That has been with COVID put on hold. But then we just had, courtesy of a partnership with Downtown Records and Facebook, Reggae Sumfest, where everyone got to watch live and get a taste of like the top artists in the world. So
That's amazing. I mean, like from everything you said, it just seems like one with the roaming carnival, like 100%. That seems like I need, like that's gonna be my bucket list. Like one, I want to go. I really want to travel to the islands with this carnival. And two, with the live music and with everything going on, I think that's amazing that Jamaica, was able to partner with Facebook, and I forgot the other part in there you said, but was able to listen to live music from the artists and still have that fun. Still, I think that's a really huge proponent of everything nowadays, that we can still have fun, even though it's not in person. We will come back to that day. But if anyone comes to Jamaica anytime, basically, they will have a good time and they'll be able to find a tradition or event to go to.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, of course. I'd love to be. Okay, yeah, you're the interviewer now. I'd love to be asked questions.
So Versus, that has taken off exponentially. Mm-hmm. Have you watched any of the Versus battles?
Any watch the what battles? Sorry, say it again.
The Timberland Versus battles.
I have not actually. I would love to. Have you? And I would love to hear your insight about it because I have not.
We did one
in
Jamaica, and it was Beenie Man versus Bounty Killer. Gentlemen that have been clashing, collaborating, and literally being in a versus battle for over 20 years.
Wow.
And it was epic. We had in terms of just live subscriptions and followers, it was well into the millions. But it was beautiful that we started with a national anthem. It was two icons that were doing their stage show from 1998 that in 2020 we're saying we're still here to do it and have a blast. We even, because of the protocols that had to be adhered to, the police had to come and kind of make sure people were socially distanced and spaced in a studio of just 20 people to say that we have to represent so well, and it jumped and sky. It's now on the Billboard charts. Like, you should look at that.
Oh my gosh, yes. Please send it to me. I need to look at it. I want to know what this is all about, to see this. And we'll post it too so people can watch it as well and make sure everyone to check it out, because that's awesome. I unfortunately have not seen it, but after this, I'm gonna make sure to do that.
No problem.
Yeah. If you had to sum up your location, one word or sentence, what would it be? I feel like this is a hard one because Jamaica is just a bunch of things. I love it.
Honestly, it's one word. It's home. It's home because it's natural, it's comfortable, it's welcoming, and it doesn't matter where, but there's just the icon behavior about being a Jamaican, and we are just warm, and we just want to, we are accepting and builders. We can be very strict, and we have our rules, and we want to make sure that everyone understands what our rules are. Exactly. But one word of the location, be it here, Kingston, Montego Bay, home. Because this rock is welcoming and warm.
That is, I think, honestly, the most perfect word to explain Jamaica. Like, even though I went to Jamaica for, again, like literally a few hours, just the welcoming feel that I felt when I went to the island, just, from everyone is just overwhelming. Like, it's definitely the definition of home. It's family. And you guys, I love that about you guys. Have such a community feel. So hopefully that makes everyone, again, know about how great Jamaica is to visit, and hopefully they'll be able to with everything going on. So with that, my last question would be, do you want to talk about, any insight or advice to give during these times? And I know that, we did talk a little bit about, the locals' responsibility, the tourists' responsibility when they go travel to any place, but especially Jamaica too. If you would like to talk about that, and the stage is yours now.
Absolutely. Jamaica is open for tourism. Okay. It's not only, it's both a business and I want to say a mutual partnership between us, the locals, and you, the tourists. If you get the stay-at-home order when you come to the island, you have to stay in for 14 days. We believe that you tried your best to come down here. We understand that you took your test. But the responsibility is that you stay within doors, and we've actually created activities where you can be on a balcony and you can watch a live show. Like it's been very dynamic in making sure that if we realize that there is a surge, we react. We're always expecting there to be a jump. Every flight, we're expecting 1 or 2. But if we see 12, there has to be a reaction. Right. We're not in the behavior of a shutdown, but we have to innovate, because a third of our population is services. Hotels is a lifeblood to make sure that not only the hoteliers make money, but then you have mom and pop stores that are supplying the goods for the hotel. You have craft stores that are within the hotel. So the responsibility is, if you come, stay at home. Our responsibility is that we are not supposed to sneak you off the property. we need to make sure that as much as we want to hug and embrace social distancing, and you know what, I didn't want to, because socially we're talking right now, I want to say the physical distancing and just adhering to what is protecting you. Wear your mask. Know that you're all about just protecting yourselves, and yeah, masks are mandatory, sanitizing is mandatory, temperature checks are mandatory. You'd have to check in with the ministry to say, I've been here for 10 days, this is my temperature. You do it all on the app that I spoke about earlier. So it's a big deal.
Exactly. And I love, you know, just referring back to your one word that summed up Jamaica, that the fact that it's home, you know, you guys are family and we all want to look out for each other. So I feel like it's everyone's responsibility to, you know, do what's best for everyone. And again, like you said, adhere to the regulations. We can still have a great time, still have that community feel, like just how we're talking virtually, you can still have that connection still. And I hope that everyone can understand that when they go there. And I hope people will go there soon. I honestly would love to go on a trip before everything starts back up again. Honestly, I would love to take a trip out there.
Well, currently, I think the stat on the news up to yesterday, we've had over 60,000 tourists turn up.
Oh wow!
So
that's amazing.
We're well on our way. Well on our way.
Yes, we're going to see that day where it comes back fully, and I'm so excited that they are coming back to you guys already. Like you said, how it's third of your economy, basically having hotels and services. So I am so excited for that to happen. And I just want to say thank you so much for the interview today and your time. I think this information is so helpful for anyone who wants to go to Jamaica or just thinking about where to go next. And I think Caribbean destinations, especially for people in the United States, are probably the most prominent destination to look into. And I really hope people get to go and see these places that you're talking about.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much again and for your time. So everyone, I'll see you guys soon, and thank you for tuning in.
Take care.